Hi, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and North Node. Welcome to your February 2026 tarot reading. I hope and pray all is well with you, that this message resonates with you. Like and subscribe if it does. This is what happens when you are choosing yourself, pretty much, Taurus. I immediately got that vibe that you guys are like immediately releasing anything that doesn't serve you. You're getting to the bag, you're getting to the money, you're getting to your resolutions. I saw where you are going to be chosen. You are going to be a serious competitor to those in which you are dealing with in any form or multitude, because it relates in many different ways. So, at the beginning of the month for February, you have bladder holding in emotions and able to let go, coping with fears and control and willpower. A lot of this has to do with you focusing on your sacral chakra, your inner being. You had ribs too, which is really close to your spine, okay, and which let me know that a lot of you guys have been focusing on areas when it relates to your singing. Some of you guys could be healing from internal infections of a lot of kinds, but I do feel here that there's been something that you have been focusing on related to your infrastructure. And I feel here that it has something to do, like it says, with being contained. There's something that you've wanted to do, you've sought after for a long time when it comes to your heart chakra and your throat chakra for a lot of you guys, especially if you're a singer, you're wanting to be a content creator, relate to dancing or something like that. I feel like there was something with business, your mindset, your vision, your goals, and your dreams. You have dreams and visions with the high priestess. The King of Cups oftentimes has to do with balanced emotional states, direction, gravitational pulls. A lot of times people who like boating, kayaking, adventures, canoeing, sightseeing, things like that, they really like the King of Cups energy. And the Six of Pentacles is about you getting what you want, an equal give and take, balance, gesture. Justice can be related here. Some of you guys, it could even be like small courts, magistrate, things like that. You could have a connection with an attorney, fees here. You could be building or connecting with a contract, signing an agreement, a homing situation with rent, something like that. Okay. Equal give and take, like I said, balance, getting something together, or in writing. Okay. I do feel here that for some of you guys, it could have something to do with child support or payment stability, setting it up. I feel here with Taurus, a lot of you guys are going to finally get what you want with something, even if it is just simply getting it contracted or getting something up in handwriting here. It feels like you're going to get a turnaround. Phone callbacks could also be very significant at the beginning of the month. Being highly sought after too, your energy has changed a whole lot. If I do say so myself, it feels like you have like this glow where people find you way more alluring. It's like you could have been saying the same thing 2 weeks ago, but because you're saying it when you're saying it, it makes so much more sense. You're a fucking genius now. You're up for promotions that wouldn't have even like looked your way. And I also get here that for those of you guys who have been paid, or you have a PR manager or somebody like that, somebody who's great with like stunting or stunt doubling, something like that is coming through if you're into those types of roles or you're interested in that. Okay. But like I said, phone call back, you being looked at as a genius or somebody that people want to like invest in the ideas of. People find a lot of interest in you. It also feel here that when it comes to like your internal system, you are definitely releasing a lot of toxins, a lot of things that don't serve you. You could also be wanting to make sure that you are like really getting over like colds, for example, like the end of things. Okay. You have moral and judgment. I do feel here that hearings, like I say, could be very significant. Traffic, things like that could be really significant. Filters too could be important when it comes not just to the internal body and stuff like that, but like filtering out what you received in, not just with content, but even like content where you're scrolling through your feeds, right? I feel here that this is about filtering through with like what you truly desire, what you need, what you want. Some of you are maturing. Let's say you're going back to reviewing something that you used to do, and as you clear it out and you recognize that you've matured, I feel here that you recognize that you are no longer giving to things that are just not prioritizing you. It feels like you skilled yourself in elevating like who you connect with and disconnecting with things that do not resonate. Even when it comes to filters, like of the body, what you do for social media, if you do anything with social media or you're posting something, there's something here with that. If you haven't engaged with your content or put like anything new of yourself up or out there, I feel like people are looking forward to you. But I feel like if you're not able, yeah, looking forward to it and hopeful. Maybe you've been looking forward to a trip, travel, or you've been feeling like things are just so nonchalant or nothing's really transgressed. And so therefore you haven't really been doing a lot, right? I do feel here that people are not really going to find you of interest right now because it feels like there's something about it being a bit sketchy. That's not going to be for everybody, but I do feel here like putting yourself out there if you're single, independent, like it's safe to just change certain things up because I feel like it's going to also help you with value of worth, money, interpretation that you're legitimate. I don't know if like maybe you don't deal with your social medias a lot like that, but this is saying that maybe if you change your profile or you do something a little bit different, it may actually help for people to like believe that you still exist or around, something like that. You have blood moon, okay? With tensions are high and proceed with caution, Taurus. You have a conflict, trouble, warning. I feel like this is Taurus letting you know that there's an event that's wanting to like make sure that you use your higher sense because you have Milky Way. You're being guided by higher forces, guiding force, connection, infinite. Yeah, you have the Queen of Wands, Hermit, and the Page of Wands. There may have been something that wanted to distract you, make you feel like you're disaligned, like you're not a shaman, that you're not a magical being that has, caused wondrous works in others' lives. I do feel here that you have a powerful force of awakening that comes from your spirit, from your creativity, from your body, from your strength. For those of you who may have had a change of circumstance when it comes to your physical vessel in some way, shape, or form, right? Whether it's you building up, bulking, strengthening, muscle building, or just letting go and choosing to do a different navigation when it comes to your body and how you maneuver it, is going to pay off very well. Especially when it comes to your muscular system. For some reason, I'm getting here that you've been really pulling and tugging a whole lot, where you may have wanted to like step back recently and you wanted to go with the flow. You wanted to allow things to shift. You may recognize where your body may do something strange or is very reactory in certain times. But I feel like this is going to relate to how you handle money to stabilization and how you show up in your workforce or how you put your best foot forward. Because you do have flowing moon here, your dreams are beginning to take shape, effortless movement, and allowing with the Page of Wands. I definitely do feel like you again have the opportunity to be recognized, to put your best foot forward. This is giving the 14th through the 16th for you guys, Taurus, if you're not aware. All right. Then what comes in and happens is that you have the stabilization, almost the Empress like energy with pelvis. It talks about birth, creativity, fertility, sexuality, passage, right? Feeling safe, balanced, and fluid. Taurus, this lets me know that there's going to be something that stabilizes you, makes you feel comfortable. This could even be something that changes your mood. I do get a happy booster. This could be flowers. This could be money. This could be somebody who you may have wanted to see, reconnect with. And don't get me wrong, when I talk about reconciliation, sometimes people have reconciliations without a breakup and a commitment because they haven't really had time to spend, you know, a lot of intimacy time together, especially if you have a new child or someone who is maybe like under the age of 4. I feel like it's been a bit harder to like gain balance. And maybe this has been like the last 4 that you'll deal with for a while. Like if you do have multiple children, okay, this could be your last child that I'm picking up on. But I do feel here that there's been a few changes here, not only with you, but your relationship, your companion, and yourselves' bodies. And I feel here that you have been focusing on like hydration a whole lot and circumstances that will make sure that you guys are recovering well. Broths could be very significant. A lot of egg drop soups and things will really serve you well, noodles and stuff. I'm getting here that with the Three of Wands, you could even be focusing on moving, journaling, journeying back into work, the industry there, making sure that you find balance for some of you guys. But I do get here that this is more so about maybe even waiting for a person or a person who is meant to come from overseas to come in to help and assist you guys in some way, shape, or form, especially if you do have people that live in your home that help you to caretake for your family too. Because I do feel like there's going to be some sort of infrastructure that comes in or changes. It does feel here that you may have phone calls or even long drives, adventures to airport, overseas endeavors, and things like that that comes up. Taurus is going to be very promising. You do have somebody here who is planning for these things. It feels like this person's been going through a lot of depression and needs some spontaneity. They may even be feeling exhausted with a situation with yourself. Like, what am I going to do with Taurus? How is this situation going to work out? And I don't feel like this person is totally like hopeless, like that things will, recover with you specifically. And better yet, all of this has, it, not everything has everything to do with you, Taurus, is what I mean, right? You're one of many things, but it does feel like somebody is slightly exhausted with a circumstance and they want it to improve. And I feel like you're feeling the effects too and half because you have muscles here with strength, force, fitness, exercise, discipline, shield, throwing weight around, right? You get this energy here that supports it too with digestion that, let me know totally that you were dealing with this, which is processing, absorbing, purify, elimination, complex, intricate, regeneration. Okay. So for you guys, Taurus, I was totally getting that you're going to immediately be called to recognize the push and pull of life, as well as like when life is trying to exhaust you on purpose and when it's unnecessary, for you to recognize how to use or transmute the energy in a positive way, shape, or form. For example, a lot of you guys might wind up using some somatic therapy coping skills. I actually have these cards that I pulled, and I was trying to figure out like what was going to be some really important messages or things that you would need to know, what may even transpire. Some of you guys, it may be gaseous, gaseous forces that may relate to the stomach, the digestion system, and things like that. But you have this devil and you have the King of Pentacles. It also relates to the security around abundance. So let's say you're having business meetings and things like that. I do feel here that you need to be mindful of like what you're putting into your body, and also be mindful here when it comes to stress, strenuous situations, and how you take your energy out on others. Okay, this may be a great prompt for you this month when it comes to stress, how you're handling it. Also, how people handle like food intake, stress in the body, because sometimes we may feel like we are overexerted or we still have a lot of energy when it comes to the end of the day, right? This is a great task or routine that will help you when it comes to somatic therapy and things like that. And the structure says, stay facing a wall, place your palms flat against it at shoulder height, step your feet back a little bit to feel a gentle lean, okay? And as you can see, they're pushing firmly into the wall for a few seconds and then releasing, okay? And you're supposed to notice this resistance. Resistance is very important for you guys. And I know that because look here, you have the palm press and release, which is about the resistance between both, and how, that disconnect kind of allows us to feel a bit of a relieving sensation, okay? Especially if we've been feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes we don't even know that we feel overwhelmed until we try shit like this. And this feels like some of you guys are going to pick up on stuff like this. Nevertheless, it says sit or stand comfortably. Press the palm of your hands together with gentle pressure for a few seconds, all right? And then it says after pressing, slowly release and separate your hands. Pay close attention to the sensation in your palms and your fingers, okay? So you know this type of thing too, and you can go like this too if you feel like you want some resistance there or just really close. But allowing those things to kiss together is going to help you to calm down wherever you felt not only just blocked or delayed. It just feels like some of you guys were very stressed. It was hard to recalibrate or get things good within you. All right. I'm also getting here that this relates to maybe recovering or healing coping mechanisms that were maybe not so high vibrational in comparison, okay, Taurus? But you get here that for the chronic root chakra blockage, inability to ground to Gaia, around the 21st through the 23rd, you may have irrationality, tougher to sleep. You may feel like it's harder to be honest during this time or loyal to a diet, routine, habit, or something to break away from. Um, this quantum code number is very wonderful and exceptional when it comes to helping with that, okay? And it is very important to remember the spaces. Matter of fact, I do have a wonderful YouTube shorts that is on my social media. If you want to learn how to use all of the quantum codes that are listed with this deck, if you check the description, I do a lot of descriptive details about how to use all of them. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, and there's so many details. And I don't want to go over and mess up the time, okay, because I was picking up this energy of some of you guys really do needing to get on it. All right, but it is 10 space 010 space 5856. All right. I feel here that this is going to really help you when it comes to sustainability, letting go of a lot of toxic root chakra blockages, and better yet, not just blockages. It just feels like you may be able to elevate into a different realm. Okay, you have a completion here, a true awakening that comes with the world energy. As you clear this cycle here of transition and change, I do feel here that whatever it is that you were embodying in the past, as an empath, even you are no longer looking the same way. All right. And I do get this vibration here that with Gaia energy, we do have Mother Earth energy. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of energy, not only in the news that relates to like cleansing, clearing up, making sure that we are very high vibrational, that we are focusing on the good in life, right? I do get this vibration here that with Taurus, you're going to be focusing on being youthful, transparent, honest, allowing things to all hang out, letting go, surrendering, and allowing yourself to trust. I do see Taurus energy smiling more, deliberately being more free, putting your hair down a lot more, wearing it wavy or just freer, looser. For those of you who wanted to get a trim, who may have wanted to try a bit different pattern, routine, color, not just with your hair, but with your outfits and things like that, do it, okay? If you felt like you were like a bit, let's say you come from a family that's very traditional and things like that, but you still feel like you're adventurous, you want to try something new, go a bit slightly risque for yourself. Because I feel like there's something that you've already been wanting to do and you've been so tense, right? And it's like you've already been wanting to invest in something for yourself and all of your other shit looks grumpy as fuck. And let's say you have a new companion, they want this for you just like how you want this for you, is what I'm saying and what I'm getting. And I do feel here you're actually going to be surprised at the commentary because I feel here that you had a planned agreement to wear this in front of relatives as it is. So you're going to be rather surprised because they actually have been wanting to see you wear something like this shit. So, yes, they would be rather surprised that, it took you so long to like speak up about this. I feel like that's the surprise, the miracle that happens for Taurus. You're going to be surprised at like how many people want something for you that you thought was a bit out of the norm or like impossible. But I feel like it's because people really do know and believe and trust you and that this is meant for you, and it's going to empower you a whole lot more, especially when it comes to your dreams, your endeavors, your ideas. Some of you guys, you could be interested in a botany business. Some of you guys, something with platters, meals, putting your letters out there, putting your feed things out there, like all of your planned things that you've had. Okay, just do it, put it out there. All right. And you have this next quantum code, which talks about having hope from flow from you to others in a group, no matter how large. It says your energy will not be exhausted as heaven will support your efforts and deliver hope through you to the rest. And your own hope will further increase. Okay. And this quantum code is 96 space 55 space 178. And I really like these because it speaks about the connection that the Most High has with us, and then the higher realms. Okay. And I do feel here that a lot of you guys have had hmm, a lot of energy that wanted to take you out, a lot of people who didn't want to support you and what you had going on, especially when it came to endeavors for work. But I feel here that what you've recognized is that you've come so far, you've even outgrown a lot of circumstances or even mind concepts when it came to certain things. Like, let's say you really did recognize that it wasn't healthy to begin with to get a certain friend group or family group or whatever type of a group to get involved in what it is that you wanted to do from the jump, right? Like, let's say you started recognizing through self-awareness like where you needed to transgress, where you needed to elevate, step up, think realistically. And this is not, shading. Okay. I feel here that you're going to recognize where you've mastered what it is that you do want conceptually, finally. And that's not me taking this out of context. I do feel like I'm speaking to somebody where the Most High has been okay with allowing you to sit down or take a little extra more time on whatever this is for you, right? What's going to happen is that around the 25th, maybe even a little bit sooner than that, it's like you have this ability to have some time to take away to get what it is that you truly want, to see it come through a little bit more. But I feel here that because you have it coming in a little bit more, you can detail more. You can go ahead and take a look a little bit into the analytics of stuff and decipher what's going to work best. Okay. It feels like this huge change is a positive change. Look, man, come on now. Come on. You may even have some water placements in your chart that resonate really well with you this month, because here maybe it is Pisces, but you have full moon. Prepare to invite a positive new chapter, emotions, completion, and drawing. It does feel like there's a positive aspect shift that relates to Pluto. Pluto there, and you do have Saturn that's coming through, which is Aquarius. Aquarius and Capricorn. Oh, I get why you were like so upset. There was some Jupiterian tension there. It's like a face that has like this tense scrutiny and is coming out of the scrutinous energy to lead to a smile. There was a potential risk that you've like overcome or defeated. And I don't know if this is happening for some of you guys January 23rd or if it is like at the beginning of February, okay? But it feels like a sigh of relief. Yeah, I couldn't explain it. It felt like, a huge sigh of relief, or like Krishna when they blew their flute for you to bring you peace, okay? Especially if you've been healing from a lot of like situations with addictions or things with your genealogy or like your DNA, who you used to be versus who you are now, transgression, year of age, birthdays, things like that, right? Whether it's you or somebody else. Yeah. Ooh. There was a lot of details here. I'm going to read this as a short story and then move forward. You have this delegation here that you need to do as far as taking action and being distant and void otherwise with certain situations. There's one particular situation. It could involve a computer. It could involve a particular boss. It's like one of those female peoples you said, I told that bitch I'm not answering her or her motherfucking emails. Motherfuck her. Especially if you wear glasses and you work online and things like that, because they have a tendency to want to make a mockery of motherfuckers or make it seem like you delayed in your efforts or how you put things out there or how responsive you are when it comes to protocol. When you're a very diligent, you're an active worker, you're always responsible and available. I feel here that there's something related to courtesy calls and the context of those that's either going to change is due to some malice that they have with you, and they gonna realize or recognize that the shit's not gonna work, and they gonna try to play the motherfucker off like it's still gonna work when they know that the shit don't work and it should have been the way that it should have motherfucking been from the jump, Taurus, or the way that you suggested or advised is coming through here. It's like they want to play you small because they want to keep the shit at like a certain quota of value or something like that as far as input. And I do feel here maybe what you didn't know about this job, this workplace, I don't care, this some of you guys may relate to a nursing situation. Hospitality is also coming through here too, in hospital. But I am getting here, you may not have been aware that they have a financial pool and who suggests things and how much it would be worth, like how much they wind up using for the budget, like $9 an hour before they wind up building up enough money to then support this idea to take full action, take for example. But it's giving that like they budget, and whoever is the person who suggests the idea, they pull it at a certain amount. So because it may come from you and not this higher up manager or something like that, this manager wants to steal it to push it in faster, but it also boosts their pay, their representation in the staff, and they have a tendency to do this shit. And I feel like this is how this person, because I'm seeing these clouds that separated for this motherfucker to even appear to begin with, using yours and somebody else's motherfucking idea. Ain't that a damn shame what they did to that dog? That's from Coming to America. But it's a damn shame what they did to that dog. You know what happens on the other side when motherfuckers go to hell and they done did shit like this. And I'm seeing the motherfucking 3 dogs. Well, it's 1 dog with 3 heads. Tearing they asses up, all on their asses because they were so leechy while they asses was here. Fuck them. I'm so over it. They are so fucking exhausted. Fuck them up. May have been sending ill will or intent when it came to your endeavors, your travels, your vehicular circumstances, and things like that. And yeah, I do see where here and there were a few bumps in the road, but nevertheless, you do have this Cancerian energy for yourselves towards that promises that not only are you accelerating forward, you have no competition. Yet again, you are the reigning champion of this bitch. You may be the talk of the town, the city where you are. I'm also getting here that a lot of people will be singing your praises with something that you do next. I feel here that when it relates to your context, your content, whatever it is that you have going on, the cuts in your motherfucking cheeks, your arms, it's all of these things here, your body. Seriously, there's something here with cutthroat, context, and content. Those were the terms, the 3 C's. They love you. And I feel here that a lot of you guys are beyond making it the mainstream, okay, or main event in some way, shape, or form. People could really appreciate you, especially if you're recovering from injury or where people saw where you had to pick yourself back up in a lot of ways and lick your own wounds. You are a huge inspiration to a lot of people. I do feel here that you're going to be challenging yourself when it comes to your backgrounds here, what it is that you put out there, or what you wanted to do when it comes to travel or exploring your options in the world. Because that could be the thing that you wanted to do too, is like your landscaping for you. And then therefore what you feel like you can see as far as expansiveness and your outlook when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and what it is that you put out there in context too. I do feel here that a lot of you guys are going to be more interested in writing down what it is that you see. Also paying attention to the colors that are meant for you, because I am getting a push to look at my book as far as like coding or dressing for style as far as your astrology. And I'm seeing the colors red, but it's certain reds that really favor you because you feel like other reds make you look a certain kind of way. It's the same thing for you where like you may have always felt like yellow may not have been your color, but you're going to find, or gold or something like that, you're going to find a color that's going to favor you that you wouldn't expect, and it's going to like really pop on you. Okay, it's going to cause something to happen to you that you weren't expecting and that others wouldn't have perceived that you'd be able to get. Okay, and look at you, dun, 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 dun. There's Taurus looking beautiful AF, proving all these motherfuckers wrong. Okay, and I feel like you are real like how, Taurus is like taking this with like, it's beyond the head held high. It's beyond this quiet luxury wealth, but it is giving like Lakshmi, okay? A bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's very beautiful, the energy here. And the strength vibration shows me that you have this huge support that is built off of confidence. A huge stream of it relates to how you feel, maybe how you get your hair done when it's like get the fuck done. You know how you feel sometimes when you have like that favorite day or the favorite thing that goes well for you, things that just looks beautiful, your skin is glowing, your jewelry looks amazing on you, it glows and glistens just like how the fuck you imagine your outfit fit or goes exact way that you thought it would. You're getting ready to have one of those days, 2 of those days, a couple of them days, Um, Maybe even like one of those your favorite haircut season or time comes in, or hair growth season or time comes in, like Monica, as she felt like after she had her huge transition that set her off, right? Literally set her off where people don't even recognize the other aspect. It's something like that, where it's a couple of days at the end of the month. I'm picking up, it's like the 25th through the 28th, and maybe even the first or the second of March that comes through for you, Taurus, where I feel like you deserve it, especially if you are around a Cancer, a Pisces, a Leo, or a Libra. Okay? Like if you're around those signs really strong, I feel like you're going to pick up on that really heavily, like an enhanced vibration and flow. It feels like they carry off this vibe well. They want you to smile. You may even have a child that's under these signs that would totally count, or a cousin or something like that. um, but you have this energy of like somebody who's supporting you as you walk away, and you kind of take control of your life, take the bull by the horns and things like that. You stand up for yourself and you start moving forward on your journey, okay? And I feel like this jumping in is about you engaging in life. Yep, engaging in life, but also be mindful with the Seven of Wands. Here, let me cover my baby up. I get this vibe here that a lot of you all Taurus are beyond exceptional when it comes to being on the defense, right? Like, and maybe you've been feeling like this. Really, all you've had to do is just be on the defense and stuff like this. But there's something about being on the defense when you are really in this energy of sensuality, being beyond. I'm getting cashmere vibes from this, like somebody who's really buttery cashmere, taking care of themselves, protecting themselves. That barrier is more of what I'm getting. This is more about the sensual aspects related to healing, recovery, feeling good about oneself and feeling quaint, and less so about somebody who has to be so on guard, the energy of like anxiousness in the heart, hold the Beretta at the door. This month is more like the metal bats and less so the Berettas. Like it's like, you may have that closer to like your stash, or like, have your protections at like source. It's like you on level 1 and not level 3. Okay, when it comes to those in the physical. And it's more about like protecting the skin, more about protecting the feet, making sure that these things aren't cracked. Also, have you been paying attention to the connection between the feet and the hands? Okay, even when it comes to physical exercise and things like that, I see a lot of people nowadays who are really great when it comes to like just a day-to-day routine, but they don't really connect with their body. And so like you see a lot of baddies who look like they have these solid built internal vibes but truly don't match it. And I think that's why I really went to something that was a bit balance when it came to the healing as well as the physical. Okay, and so doing things that implement this connection with the hands and the feet is super important. And this is not like on no superficial supplemental type shit. This is more about being very eloquent, high vibrational, making sure that you are doing the proper things that you can to make sure that you're sustainable for a long term, that you're not just eating well, for example, that you are physically doing well too, and that is something sustainable is easier, right? When you have something that's totally in balance instead of something that feels choppy, is what I feel here. And you support this vibration, that you see what I mean with the Seven of Wands, because something that you implement towards shows that you need that fluidity in your life in order to sustain that temperance energy that you've had. So you recognize this already, and you know what it is that I'm talking about here, for example, that you may need to implement more of, or you may find something that's better suited for you, or something that flows best where you know that it's going to work well. It could even be a breathing exercise or technique here, okay? But it just feels like something that you're going to do is going to protect you a whole lot. Even working with the cold weather, for example, for those of you who found it frustrating at first, it feels like you may find a healthy routine that helps deliberately show you what your body is expressing during this times based off of what you've experienced too, because we do have that educational energy that supports you from the week prior, that shows that you have this interest in you. You have this interest in being healthily mentally defensive, protective, clearing the toxins from you, making sure that your internal barrier is well protected too, especially the linings around the liver and the spleen. Okay, it feels like you're wanting to make sure that everything is completely protected, that the barriers are completely great, especially if you, not everybody has had a kidney stone, but if you did have one at some point in time, those things are very important. You start to learn a whole lot about things that you can do internally to heal yourself. Nevertheless, Taurus, those were your messages, and I pray that this month serves you well. If it did, if this does serve you well and it helps you a whole lot, thumbs up the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. I would love to read for your energy. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I look forward to connecting with you soon and in the future. Love and light to you. Take care. Bye.